Well, I'm doing good, Bryan. Thank you.
Hey, good to talk to you. Congratulations on the win over Garrison, 24-20 on Friday night. Sounds like it was a pretty tight ball game.
Well, it was a good game. You know, we felt very fortunate to win the game. We had 3 turnovers during the game, and winning a game like that that's close against a really good opponent is tough to do, especially when you lose the turnover battle by 3, which we did. And I was really proud that the kids responded once we got behind. We got behind for the first time with about 2 minutes to go in the game, and we responded well with no timeouts, and were able to throw a long touchdown pass to recapture the lead, and it was a very exciting game for our kids to win.
I'll bet. Now, setting up the scenario there, 20-17, Garrison's on top. You got under a minute to play. Will Weathers, you're back inside your own 30-yard line. How did you feel about your chances at that point?
Well, we knew we were going to have to throw some boundary throws. Our kicker has been kicking very, very good, and we were just trying to ultimately get the ball down with inside the 25-yard line to give us a really good shot. So we were going to run some boundary throws, and then all of a sudden I kind of decided we'd throw an out and up and just kind of take a chance. And kid bit on it, and we were able to dump it over him. And, Chase McDermott, unbelievable catch and run, and the rest is history.
Coach, what does it say about your program that you beat a team? And I know Garrison. I've watched Garrison for many, many years. They're always full of really fast athletes. They go to the state semifinals last year. You won a state championship in TAPS. What does it say about your program when you can beat a UIL power like Garrison?
Well, our kids work hard. They expect to win every game they're in, and they've been in some really tough preseason games, the first 3 years that I've been here. So they anticipate having a really tough opponent, and this game was no different. We having so many young kids, we have a lot of kids that are a lot of new faces. So I was really pleased to see that the kids expect to win, even though we're young and inexperienced at the varsity level.
Are you surprised you're 2-0 right now?
No, not really. Once you begin winning, kids start feeling that they're going to win no matter what the circumstance. And we have, the kids really believe that in their heart right now. And that's the difference. And, what we're doing is the fact that kids think they're going to win every football game. Now, we're going to have a challenging upcoming schedule, and we're just going to take that belief to win some of those games. But our kids they do well in overcoming adversity in close games.
In addition to your quarterback Weathers, talk about some of the other kids who really stepped up and played well for you here in the first 2 ball games.
Without a doubt, Mason Dickey, who is our senior captain, and he's an outstanding player for us. He starts both ways, defensive line, and he's an offensive guard that's tremendous at the offensive position. He dominated against Frankston with 10 tackles, with 6 for loss and 3 sacks in that game. So having him back along with Bailey Franklin, another All-Stater that's an offensive lineman, and Matthew Siemens, another big offensive lineman that we have, we're pretty good up front on both sides of the football, so that gives us a chance to stay in the game.
I got to ask you, Coach, because I'm seeing something that's kind of turning into a phenomenon here in Texas. We've seen what Plano Prestonwood has done on the private school level in just hammering Powers and Henderson and Gilmer. We've seen what Grace is doing right now. They've beaten some really good football teams, San Augustine, Mineola, people like that. Your team beats an East Texas Power in Garrison. Are we starting to see kind of a trend here where you're starting to see a shift in power towards some of these TAP schools, especially here in East Texas?
I'm not sure if that's the case. Ultimately, we're a small school, a 1A school, who at this point in our school's history, we are fortunate to have some good football players. And if you look at a span of a school over X amount of years, say 30 years, you're going to have some ups and downs. And right now, we're fortunate to have a crew of athletes that are pretty good athletes and have had those kids for 3 years. But it does make it great for us when you have the facilities that we have, and we have a full-time 8-man coaching staff, which is unique for private school, that teach on campus much like a public school. That's the difference for us with the facilities and the full-time coaching staff that we have. I think that gives us an advantage because we're as much like a public school as you can get as far as athletics goes, and still getting the kind of coaching that public schools get, which is really good coaching.
How does it make you feel? I mean, I realize you guys are rivals, but when you're doing what you're doing right now, Grace is doing what they're doing right now, and it looks like this thing's going to be headed toward a collision course. But when you guys are not playing against each other and you see the other school doing well against these public schools, what kind of feelings do you have about that?
Well, obviously, we there's a certain pride that's taken, because you want your school to be, known for being a good football program, and being a private school, it makes you, in a little bit better light when all private schools do well. So when it takes on a different meaning for us to do well against public schools, because that gives us a sense of we're going in the right direction. And so seeing the other private schools win and do well adds nothing but adds credibility for us in the program.
It also, I would think, really starts to build on your kids' self-esteem when you see them winning. They see Grace winning. They see a team like Plano Prestonwood come in and beat the East Texas Powers. It's got to do a lot for your pride and your self-esteem as an athlete.
Well, and we've got another challenge. We're going to have to play this Friday night against Spring Hill, which is a 3A school that has, 700 students in school, and here we are with 165 in our high school. So, every week it's like we feel like it's David versus Goliath, because, we're probably the smallest TAP school in our TAPS division, and we're used to playing schools that are 4 times bigger than us, but our kids relish that role, and they want to go out and just prove that they have the right to go out there and belong with anybody in football.
Well, it's pretty obvious you belong, and so congratulations on the start, the 2-0 start, and the big win over Garrison, and best of luck this week when you play Spring Hill.
Thank you, Bryan. I really appreciate that.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good talking to you. Coach Terry Pirtle of the Brook Hill Guard on Bryan Houston Sports Radio Live on 99.3 Talk FM.